Hi Priyanshi, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Rakesh. I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, good too. Thank you. So Priyanshi, how many years of experience you have?
So I have overall 3 years of experience.
Mhm.
1 year of experience in healthcare domain, and I was there in software specialist role, and
Mm,
then I moved to the testing role and work as a software testing engineer. And
mhm,
yeah, where I my role is to create test cases, test reports, execute test cases and test plans. We are creating test plans and reporting bug tracking to Jira,
mm,
and helping to developers to get rid of the bug.
mhm.
Yeah, so
Okay,
these are my main responsibilities.
great. So let's say you are testing a healthcare-based application, and your this application, which is on the healthcare-based domain, is supporting mobile as well. So you are testing both web as well as mobile. In the
Mm.
mobile, you have some notifications. For example, you have appointment reminders, or you have some notifications for medicines to be taken up at that particular time period. So, how would you test these mobile app notifications for alerts?
For alerts.
Yes, alerts like maybe you want to go for test, or you want to go for some, you have some payment dues, or maybe you have some appointment reminders. So these kind of app notifications will come in your mobile, right? Since your app is supporting mobile as well. So how
Mm.
would you test this mobile app notifications?
Okay.
Mm,
Uh, so for that, first of all, I'll go with my software and
mm,
I'll check that if there is a functionality of an alert is enabled or
mhm,
not. So I'll check over there, and then the second step would be I'll check on the mobile setting itself that it's a overall alert. It is there, so it should be enabled. Then I'll check it. Second, so say second is covered. Third would be, uh, yeah, let me just think about it more.
mhm,
So, okay. So there is a like notification drawer, and it is in inbuilt in our mobile itself.
mm,
So it should also be enabled. Like there is a feature which get it's disabled. So the reminder get come pop up, and the patient or whoever is using user will able to see that in their drawer.
mm.
um so yeah, so we have to test it. So also there is like it should also be get cleared and removed or
Yeah. So everything you have to test related to those notifications.
okay. So
Mm,
my first step will be I'll create that event, or I'll schedule a event,
mm, mm,
and then I will take like I will set a one time, and that time I will check that, like I will replicate that issue, and I will check that in the same time it should get displayed. And for example, if there is a meeting link over there, so
mm,
I'll check that the meeting link will take it to the whatever meeting application is there. So the link should be accessible, clickable also. Um,
mhm,
and like the pop-up ones, like what I have said, that notification drawer pop-up should be displayed and should get cleared as well.
mm.
So I'll take that approach.
Okay. See, when you get these kind of questions, so definitely these were good scenarios that you mentioned. Apart from that, see, you're getting those notifications in your mobile app. What if you get some call on the mobile, or you're getting some a WhatsApp call at that moment? Does those notifications stay over there, or they go away, right? You can
Mm.
also verify the accuracy. For example, the notification was supposed to come at 2 p.m. and you have to collect some. the patient has to collect his test reports maybe at 6 p.m. So notification should come at proper time, like 2 p.m. or maybe in the morning. It should not come after 6 p.m. or after 7 p.m., right? So
Yeah.
you should check for delayed. You can also check for duplicate notifications, like if
Mm.
multiple notifications of the same thing are coming over and over again. So those kind of things you can check. You can verify the accuracy of the notification content. If the content that is written, that is not having any spell mistakes, or that is appropriate, it does not have any issues with the languages, those kind of things, then you can ensure the notifications have proper patient preferences. For example, with respect to male, female. For example, you can consider email versus SMS as well. It should not happen that a report you should get in a message. It should come in an email so that
Mm.
a user can easily open it and access it. Right? That is one of the thing. Another thing can be that when you are clicking on that notification, it should open. It should not
Mm.
happen that the file should get corrupted. Also, if
Mhm.
you forward that things to any other maybe applications or any other software, then also it should work fine. For example, if someone is too elder, they are unable to open those things. So if they can forward to someone and then someone else can read for them. So those kind of things you have to take care. And second thing is the notifications should be such that they are not, they should be precise. They should not be so large that it covers multiple messages over there and then it is getting
Correct.
completed.
Yeah.
So that's how you can answer.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, let's say there is a screen in your application, and when you access that particular screen, it is taking too long time. Maybe let's say it is a screen which is generating some reports, right? So whenever you access that particular screen to generate reports, that functionality is taking too long time. So how
Mm.
would you handle this?
Okay. Like
Mm,
for example, it's a healthcare, so it's a patient
mm,
report. So
mm.
I'll go to the particular patient
Yeah,
demographics, and
yeah.
they have
So it is
certain.
taking too long time. Yeah.
Okay. Um, in that scenario, first of all, I'll check in the background like what are the formats of those reports.
Mm,
Yeah. So is that contain a huge data sets, or is it corrupted ones, or is it taking time? So like first of all, I'll note out what are the formats. Then
mm,
second, I'll check that how long it will take. Like, I will check with that test case,
mm,
like
mm,
how much time it is taking to open. And if it is contains a huge or maybe it contains a huge number of data, or a corrupted data like in the
mm,
report. So
mm,
I'll troubleshoot, and I will go through that, like what are the corrupted data present there, and try to remove it, or to check with the developer or any responsible person to handle with it, so that I'll
mm.
move further. And uh, yeah, of I'll also check with the documentation, like what should be the expected scenario, and what is it is like it is what is the current one. So I'll check with that. Uh, yeah,
Okay.
these things I will take a note
Mm.
of.
Fine. So this is one of the thing. Now, one more thing you can also add into this particular answer is what kind of user is taking a lot of time. Is it an admin user or is it a non-admin user? Maybe sometimes non-admin user is taking a lot of time. An admin user is might be having all the privileges, all the access. So for that, it is taking some less time. You can also check with respect to the browser that you are trying to access. Is it taking too long time in the Chrome browser? Maybe it is working fine in Firefox, vice versa. Those kind of
Mm-hmm.
things also you can do to handle. So this is all you can classify in the terms of troubleshooting. How will you
Correct.
troubleshoot these kind of issues? Okay. How will you test user role permissions in a healthcare portal?
User role permissions
Hmm.
in healthcare. Okay. Um, so, from my experience, so we had a permission as an admin.
Mm-hmm.
There are some of the panels which are only accessible and displayed to the patients only, so they are not able to see the encoded things.
Right, right.
So, uh, like I have to check that every users will able to see only their content, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So,
So role-based access control kind of a testing.
okay. So, as per my experience, I know that we have a different type of user logins,
Mm-hmm.
credentials. I meant to say. So all have given different credentials. I'll take all of them and try to like in our demo interface. I'll try to log in with the different users,
Mm-hmm.
admin, patient, or whoever is tester can take, and I'll check that in the different setups like in the patient one, for example, try to access the different panel of, for example, the doctor panel.
Mm-hmm.
From the patient, I will check and access the doctor things, like for example creating reports and um like creating appointments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these tasks are covered to doctors,
Correct.
and I'll check that this functionality, and for example, like doctor should be accessible to some of the patient kind of setups, like
Mm-hmm.
they have the admin have all the access, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'll create a test case so that the doctors can access everything, and as an admin they can create everything, they can seek to other panel also, and like also there is one point, it's one other setup which is different, like for the security. So
Mm-hmm.
for the security panel, it have something different. Like uh, they grant a permission
Mm-hmm.
and they revoke it also. So these panel is different also. So I'll check with that credentials and see that everything is working, or patient should not be able to access that security panel,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So you'll
So
check with different roles, like patient, doctor, admin roles, and you'll check
correct.
each and every
Yeah.
screen's access for them.
Yes, I meant to say that.
Okay, great, great. Okay, now, how would you test the downtime notification for maintenance in the healthcare app?
Downtown
Yeah,
notifications.
yeah.
I'm not clear about this question. Like, can
So
you
let's say
explain
your
it?
application is going to have some downtime period of 8 hours in which your application would be getting updated. So there will be a system maintenance screen that would be generated. So how would
Hmm.
you test that maintenance screen?
Or okay, let me clear it. Like for example,
Mm.
one of the server get uh,
Mm.
down, and
Mm-hmm.
there is a background mechanism get paused.
Mm-hmm.
How should I deal with it, right?
Correct, correct. Or
Okay.
not exactly the background. I would say this application is getting upgraded from, let's say, older version to the newer version. Meanwhile, you don't want any users to use this application.
Hmm.
So how would you test that down? So there will be a screen which will be generated on the application, which will be displayed on the application that there is a downtime from X hours to Y hours.
Hmm.
It's a maintenance
Okay.
kind because the application is going under maintenance. So
Mm-hmm.
how would you test that notification?
Okay. Mhm. Yes,
Hello?
Rakesh. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
What happened?
I got disconnected, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, now is the screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was telling, how would you test the downtime notification for maintenance of the healthcare app. For example, your application is going under the maintenance, and there is a screen, there is a notification coming on your application that as of now you cannot access this application because behind the scenes there's a maintenance going on. So how would you test that thing for a healthcare application?
Okay.
Mhm.
So first of all, I'll handle the situation in that way. Um, First of all, I will check with the different user accounts. Like are they getting the same display? Like the maintenance is happening, so
Mhm.
that they would not get into the uh, like crashed ones. Like they should know about it. Okay,
Mhm.
so every account should display the same error.
So this
And
kind of notification I was referring to.
okay,
Hmm. Something
okay,
like this. Hmm.
yeah. And the second would be like in between the time I will try to access the account. Like uh, user should not able to user should not able to access the system in this time frame.
Perfect,
Okay,
perfect. Yes, that is
so
very important. Hmm.
yeah, so I will try to restrict it after the time, after the 4 a.m. I will try to access it and check that if it is working fine, or is it still going on somewhere, like it's still there is an issue. I'll check with the other developers and
Hmm.
convey, convey to the respective ones, like it is accessible now. um what else? Yeah, and for example, like if there is a serious issue
Hmm.
and the user have to able to screen and application,
Hmm.
so I'll take a walk around. For example, I'll give them a older version of the application so that they can give their perform their task. And
But
uh,
older version of the application means?
like for example, like in my past experience, so
Hmm.
we had this issue. So
Mhm.
what we do, that we have a different version. Like they can, for example, we have a different type of applications. One of mobile, one is browser application
Mhm.
in our company. So if the browser is not working, so we have mobile version. So
Mhm.
we give them a workaround so that you can book your appointment from the mobile app.
Oh, okay, okay, like
Yeah,
that. The mobile version is working, but the web
yeah,
version is
yeah.
not working. Okay, like that.
So they don't get stuck in their work.
Mhm.
They have like if there is a serious problem.
Mhm. Okay.
So yeah, otherwise I can also uh, I'll check that every browser should all give the same error.
Hmm.
It should not like the Chrome is giving this and the browser Firefox is giving a different type of thing.
Every browser, every user also should get the same error, and I would say every
Yeah.
device also should get the same error because
Okay.
this is happening. Let's say this upgrade is happening in your production system. Then how
Hmm.
come your mobile is working, right? There will be some loopholes in there. For example,
Hmm.
you are upgrading your application, and in that, everything comes up, your calendar, your scheduling, your appointments pertaining to healthcare, everything will come. All the features would be included in this. So,
Okay.
if something is not working on the web, it should not work on the mobile as well,
Oh.
right? And it's a
Okay.
complete downtime kind of a thing. So, none of the users should, even if you try to inspect element and you try to get into the application, that also should not work itself. I would say the login button itself should get disabled, right? Otherwise,
Hmm.
many a times users might have some curiosity. Let's see what's going on inside, and in that
Hmm.
they might give some API calls, and then they might get some errors. So it's better to have this kind of a screen itself. No login button, and this entire screen should be displayed.
But like my question is, it's
Hmm.
as it is a healthcare.
Hmm.
So in healthcare, there are certain times that it is very emergent.
Hmm.
We cannot delay it. So
Yes.
in that case, how should I?
So in that case, what you should do is whenever you get this user story, like we will be going for downtime for this to this, then during the requirement analysis, you should convey to the team members that as we are into the healthcare domain, as we are into this healthcare business, we can have the downtime during the night, maybe from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., 3 hours.
Okay.
That,
Mm.
that kind of time slot you can choose to have this kind of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because see, these websites are like it should be running 24/7. Should
Mm.
be so you never know when some emergency comes up. So you can go for some night hours when you expect very less things to happen.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Mm.
2 a.m. to 5 a.m. What would happen? Only people, those who would be having some emergency, they might access, or at least very few people might be accessing. In the daytime, what would happen? All the most of the traffic would be coming up. Most of the members would be accessing. Maybe someone is accessing his bills, someone is trying to pay the bills, someone is trying to download some reports, someone is trying to check some history of the cases. Those all things will happen. But in 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. is a window which you can choose based on your data. Like this is the time when there is very less traffic on the website, and hence we can go for downtime.
So we can notify users before
Yes,
our
yes.
creation.
You have to notify. Let's say you have some accounts in the bank. In the banks also, whenever there is a maintenance window, you'll get some message
Mm.
proactively on your phone itself that there is a scheduled maintenance in this bank from this hour to this hour. Sorry for inconvenience, but you won't be able to do any kind of this payment or some transaction. So those kind of messages are coming. So similarly, you have
Mhm.
to test these kind of notifications. Also, you
Okay.
have to test the timing of these notifications. It should not happen that notification is coming once that time period has gone away.
Mm.
Also, it is very important that the notification first you have to set that there will be a downtime. But after the downtime is done, let's say now the application is up and running, then again the second notification should go that the downtime is completed, that the maintenance window is completed. Now you can
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
this website. So
Absolutely
both
correct.
messages should go to the users.
Mm-hmm.
Very important from end users point of view.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's how you can deal with such kind of questions. Um, okay, yeah. Coming to next question now, which is we were just discussing. A healthcare application must be available 24/7, right? So you have to ensure that it is available 24/7. Now, how will you test its reliability?
Okay. How would I test reliability?
Reliability means it should work in the morning, it should work in the
Yeah. Yeah.
afternoon, it should work in the evening. You cannot test 24 hours, but you have to go for some windows.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um. Let me think about it.
Mm-hmm. Take your time, no hurry.
Okay. The answer comes in my mind for this scenario is like, for example, not example, like we can test this in a way that like breaking it, for example. So in edges we have to test like breaking it. For example, we are creating
Breaking
uh,
it means
I meant to say
Mhm.
in like how should I frame it? In a different time frame. For example, I am creating a appointment for to a doctor,
Mhm.
and uh, let's say uh, I have given a time like in this schedule. I'm available, and and like I know that the doctor is not available in that time. I'm
Hmm.
still creating the slot on that time. Okay, so it should not able to accept it, right? So maybe
I
I
guess
am wrong in this.
I think that
And
is you are testing this. You're telling this scenario with respect to appointment scheduling feature that you have, right? If the
mm,
doctor is available from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you are trying to book a slot at 6 p.m., then it will not work for you. So that's fine. That is an appointment scheduling feature. But here the
okay.
question is, you have this website, you have this application, you want to test that it should be available 24 by 7, all the days, entire day it should be available for 24 hours. Now, how would you test its reliability?
24 into 7. uh, it's I think maybe it is I can check it from the server side, that all the servers are like running. Like I am picturing my past experience, like we have a
Mhm.
different type of servers,
Yeah, yeah.
so they might get uh, my I mean they some of the time they are just not working correctly.
Hmm.
So we have a team, so they are working on it. We have different kind of a databases.
Mhm.
So databases are created in such a way, like they give. Maybe I don't have an answer of
No
that. I
problem.
can think. I don't think about it like right
No
now.
problem. No problem. See, what you can do is you can conduct some test which simulates continuous load over several days. So what you can do is you
Okay.
can use some performance testing tools, and you can continue to create some test over and over a period of time. Every day you should create,
Mm,
right? You can monitor for some memory leakage. What happens whenever you use some application for more number of time? You can see if there is some memory leakage, or if there is some lot of resources are being utilized, or is the system getting slow, those
mm,
kind of things. You can simulate some failover mechanisms. What happens in failover mechanisms, as you were telling about servers, right? So you have
mm,
server A, you have server B. If you're applying a lot of load continuously, you are accessing that application, then it might happen server A might get down over a period of time. Then
mm.
the load should switch to server B, but there should not be any impact on the end users from the front end point of view.
Okay.
That is load balancing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So servers are able to handle that load balancing. You can
Yeah.
test
Yeah.
for backup and recovery processes for data consistency. Let's say if anything, if any server goes down, if you try to get a backup of that, then you should be able to get the consistency. Right? Those kind of things are also there. So all these scenarios would come into the picture.
Mm. Like how from this answer, how would we calculate that it will perform? Application will perform correctly in 24 into 7.
So what you are doing is when you are conducting long duration, right, over several days means you are including, let's say you are testing from
In the
first
different time frames, right?
time frames, and you're
Mm,
testing from first of the month to maybe 30th of the month. So you cover for 30 days of testing. You have that test data for 30 days now. In 30 days, what you should do is on the first day, you should schedule some test which should run in the morning time. On the
mm,
second day, you should schedule some test which might run at the night time. Third day,
mm,
you schedule some tests to run at the evening time. So what is happening? Your testing is done across the time frames in different time zones, as well as your reliability testing is happening.
mm,
This is one nature of the testing that you can do. Then the second phase of the testing, what you can do is one day for one day, you try to do the testing in that peak hours, it is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You continue this testing for next 10 days, and you see that you don't experience any performance slowness, you don't experience any screens getting stuck when you are moving from one screen to another, the functionality are working reliably, those kind of things. So what is happening, you get 10 days of reliability testing of data. It is continuously working perfectly for 10 days,
okay, I got it.
right? Those kind of things. So that's how you will test it is working 24 by 7. You have to test, you have to do end-to-end testing on the longer period of time. As such, what we do,
Yes.
we test something once and we tell it it is working fine or it is not working fine. But over here, what you have to do is you have to test the same thing continuously over a period
Regression
of time.
testing.
Yeah, not exactly the regression. It can be told as reliability testing, and you can do
Huh.
recovery testing as well. How much
Uh-huh.
time is it taking to get recovered? If something goes down, then what is the impact? Right? Okay, now
Okay.
you were telling about regression testing. So how would you identify the test scenarios which would which should work for regression perspective or which should work for smoke testing perspective? You have this healthcare based application. It has got a lot of test cases. It's not possible to test everything every day. So how
Hmm.
would you classify the test into regression as well as in the smoke test? How would you do that classification?
Yeah. So as regression testing works, so their task is to like regression testing is only uh, perform in test cases have which take a lot of time
Mhm,
and which have a huge data sets.
mhm,
So we write a script and like we also automate it. I
mhm,
think the regression testing is only for automation.
mhm,
So there we have a huge amount of data, so we'll perform regression testing. And if it is comes under only the test main functionality of a software, so we'll take a smoke test there. And as a smoke test is it's like it's a subset of regression testing. So it's not a it's like we do when we don't have a much time, so we'll do a smoke testing. But if we have a long time and there is a criticality in the software, so we'll do regression testing. So this is how we test both.
okay. See, at the time of smoke testing, you will classify those kind of test like login feature or maybe scheduling an appointment. A high level testing you'll classify into smoke test.
Hmm.
Regression would come into the picture and it would increase over a period of time because more and more tests would be getting added since your features are increasing. So your regression testing would be that earlier sprint features are working fine or not, or features which have been developed till now are working fine or not. So those all things will be classified in your regression testing. Right? Okay,
Okay,
how
yeah.
much time do you give to regression testing and how much time do you give to smoke testing?
Like time as in when I
Time is in,
perform.
let's say you are working from Monday to Friday
Hmm.
and working 8 hours a day, so 40 hours a week. So how much time would you do smoke testing? How much time would you do regression testing? Because apart from that, you have your routine work as well. Your current sprint testing also you will have to do. So how much time would you allocate to these things?
So like we perform regression testing in every 8 days, and in a week. Like for example, first we run a suite of regression test, and we'll test it. And the smoke testing is a daily part. Like when we come to the office, and first of all, first work is to perform the smoke testing and check every functionality should be working fine, which are the main core functionalities. And as soon as we get the result, we will jump to our daily work.
Hmm.
So yeah, regression testing in a week and smoke testing daily work.
So So you are allocating some time, like maybe X% of time. So you can say whenever you get the build, 30 minutes every day might go for build testing, so the smoke testing. So if you get build twice in a week, you're having 1 hour of time for your smoke testing. Regression
Okay.
testing would be done during the release time when you have some releases. At that time, we'll be going for regression testing. So it might take some 4 to 5 hours. And if you have some team members with you, then you will allocate some, you will divide some tasks to them, and then you will do the testing. Those kind of things you can say.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So these are the questions. Mm, yeah. So, Priyanshi, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No, Rakesh, it was a nice interview and nice talking
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. Thank you.